Hello everyone, my name is Shani Jones and I'm your resident certified sex coach. This is DOYOU KNKY, which stands for Do You Know the New Kinky You? And by now I'm sure you recognize the three of us as the host and very subject matter expert cannabis guests on our Sex and Cannabis Series. We are now on part 3, where we are continuing our conversation on coming with cannabis. So we split this one up because it's just so much to talk about. And now we're going to give you some tangibles. But before we do that, I want to introduce Lisa, who will tell you a little bit more about the person.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite homegirl, Lisa. You guys are tuned into another wonderful Weed Wednesday episode with my wonderful co-host, Shanae. We are talking about sex and cannabis. We are digging deep. We are in the juicy stuff right now. And we're getting all moist with you. And we couldn't get this way without our wonderful guest, Miss Sita.
Yes. Thanks for having me, guys. I am a cannabis education expert, cannabis chef. I'm currently working in a vertically integrated cannabis facility where we grow, process, and make edibles under the same roof.
Cheers, all the wonderful dynamic ladies we have here.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Canneration, a homegrown creation. This is all about homegrown right here, using real live leaves to decorate functional home decor.
After the
Oh, I'm not bad.
sip. You can't sit there. Come on now. You gotta sip after the cheers.
We're drinking out some amazing glassware, and that is a wonderful coffee love for you. Make sure you go ahead and check them out at canneration.com, CANNARATION.com, and also Cannerations with an S on Instagram.
Yes.
Shout out to them and shout out to our amazing sponsor for the house.
Yes.
Yes, we're
your favorite sex
KNKY.
word.
Can we call it?
That's sex word.
That's a sex
word.
word.
Oh, sex word. Oh, and Mercury. I heard it.
Is it kinky? Because you say KNKY, but can we say kinky?
You can't say kinky.
Okay.
When I wrote it like a license plate. So if you say kinky, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But if you say kinky, and people, they'll type it in with the I.
Right.
So, I try to just be mindful of saying KNKY, so you know that there's no, because I couldn't, unfortunately, they wouldn't let me patent or trademark kinky.
Of course.
KNKY, they wouldn't let me do that. I could do.
They wouldn't let you,
They
or
wouldn't,
it
no.
wasn't already taken?
No, it was too broad of a term.
Yeah.
That, it wasn't something that I could
continue. Right.
That makes sense. So, but KNKY, especially with this little sexy lady, that's on me. So that's been trademarked.
And this house should be trademarked because it is such a treasure to be here. What a wonderful environment. Thank you so much for letting us record this amazing 4-part Sex and Cannabis Series in your wonderful home.
Thank you.
Now let's get back to coming with cannabis, because I'm sure the people were excited. Last time we caught them up on a lot of real great ways to introduce it into the bedroom.
Yes.
Now it's here. We done consumed in whatever way possible. We're feeling a little.
We're feeling it. We're
feeling
ourselves. So what I wanted to do to concentrate on this particular episode was to think about sex and cannabis in a sensory play type of environment, because what cannabis can do, as a precursor, as and being incorporated into foreplay or pre-play, is to help create a body high, which will develop those physical receptors, which makes touch just a little softer, just a little bit more tingly, a little bit more tingly, and then it also will get into your head, so it helps, like we talked about before, to release those anxiety and those stresses, but also lower your inhibition. So when you're high, you lower and you're able to get out of your head and you're less worried about, the silly shit in your life. And so you're able to have just a little bit more fun, but one of the things that I wanted to, start with is because, we're here because your cannabis comes from somewhere. And I think just like, you have good food, you can tell when your cannabis is grown with love. And, I think that's what the home growers do. They're not the mass market, cannabis industry. They, are the people that cultivate, with their hands in the soil and, trying to
They get dirty.
They get dirty. They get dirty over here. So I'm gonna ask, like, how does it start? Like, how does intimacy start when you are a grower of the cannabis?
Well, and I'm glad that we're actually going down this path because I never really looked at it that way, but I've experienced it, so I can speak on it.
Okay.
And I've broken it down to like 3 different ways, right? So you have like in sex, you have not foreplay, masturbation, self-pleasure.
Yes.
So growing can be a way of self-care, self-pleasure, and it can be a very therapeutic experience. Because you have to kind of take time out of your day to attend to your plants, to feed them, water them, general maintenance. You know how that goes. So when you do that, I feel like if you're taking that time out to nurture and take care of your plants, and it helps you improve your thinking functions, because you're in a more of a meditative state, focusing on your plants when you're doing your work with them, and you find your growth spot. When you're growing, it's a learning process. So you're never going to stop learning in the growing thing. You're always going to be coming out with new technology and different ways to help you improve your grow or making it more seamless. So with that, finding your growth spot and finding really what works for you. What gets you off. Yeah. So like what gets me off in the growing process is when the plant first starts to flower, the first 2 weeks of flower. The white pistils just start sticking right out of the plant. And it is the most gorgeous thing ever. So when I grow for that. Okay. When I get to that,
I see
I'm
the
like,
sparkling
right.
I'm
gorgeous.
You don't see the sparkling way I see the sparkling.
And it sticks everywhere because like you have to defan them in like 3 or 4 stages, correct? During the grow process. And so that first stage is the pistil stage where you get the real thick white hairs that she's speaking about. And as you're going through the plant, like all of that trichome is sticking onto you. So like, is it plant food?
And you know what? And I thought of that at one point when I was touching it, and I was like, well, if this is a female, and I'm touching her, I'm sticky, and
you just helped her along her way.
Right. And then, talking about the male and the female, plant, the different plants, and a lot of, you'll hear this a lot when people saying, oh, if you have a male in your growth or whatever, no, don't treat the men like that. However, if you're looking to achieve female-only plants, yes, you do want to remove that from your space. But there's so many uses for the male plant because they produce the pollen. And then when you get that pollen, mixing it with the female, and that's usually how people crossing the strains, crossing the genetics, and they're making they're creating the different strains. And that's where we're talking about that potion. So when you have that male with those terpene profiles and that female with those other terpene profiles, and you put them together and then you grow them in the right environment.
That's the moment I was waiting for.
So that is another, a way that other people that like to cultivate and they like to make their own genetics. Like when they achieve that, like that's like the high that they're trying to go for, or that pleasurable moment when you're growing with your partner. Growing again, like I said, it's a evolving learning process. Like you're always learning something new. So growing with your partner, If some people like to be like intellectual, like to learn a lot of things, I like to read with their partner. So some like that is really, really that intimate part where it has nothing to do with the physical aspect of it. It's just stimulating your brain. Learning with them, and also, experimenting with them, trying new things, just like you would try new things, hopefully.
Yes.
If you're open to experimenting with your partner in the bedroom,
Yes.
You would try different things. You want to try different growth practices and see how that can work, so then you and your partner can find your growth spot.
Isn't it practice makes perfect?
Yeah, definitely practice makes perfect. Absolutely. So the more you grow with your partner, the better, hopefully, that you'll get. And then also hopefully with communication and just finding your rhythm in the growth space, because your plants feed off of your energy. So if you're in a not so great environment, toxic environment, your plants will feel it and they will show it.
It all translates.
And them plants don't lie. They do not lie.
They do not.
So if you guys are struggling here or you're growing with somebody, check your relationship first. And that may be the issue.
You know what? That's a good thing. That's practical.
Yeah.
If you're a grower, check your plants. If your plants ain't healthy, you might want to check your relationship.
If any of y'all is spiritual, as above, so below. Everything manifests. So if that's what's manifesting, check it. Look in the mirror or look at each other.
And one more way that I would incorporate growing into an intimacy experience would be group growing. So I did a group growing class before. and we sexual experiences can happen in groups.
Yeah.
But it's that, again, that non-intimate thing where you're kind of doing more self-work. This is it. I open up my space and I invited strangers in, where we both share this common interest in growing. So I got to, I crossed that boundary for myself, and entered into a different space, and also, got to know new people. And we are still in communication today, and hopefully working and building things together in the future. But that without that ability to grow, I don't feel as if I would have ever, have that experience.
Do you know that everything you just said, I could replace the word sex and it could mean exactly the same thing? I'm listening to you and I was like, I'm going to dumb this back and I'm going to have you say sex. And every time it's going to sound the same experience. Like people, their growth and the way that they experience things and the way they have to, it's trial and error. It is patience. It is communication. It is, being on the same, not on the same mindset where you have to think alike, but being on the same, path and being able to, when you come to a divergence, being able to discuss those things and, figure out the right path back. So there are a lot of ways that, sex and cannabis, just, marry each other. And so when we're talking about this and the sensory play of it, I think, I don't think you talk a lot about it, but like just the cultivation, it's a hands-on process, right? Yeah. It's very because we know that the plants lubricate themselves. So there is a physiological response from the plant when it's being pumped up a certain kind of way.
Well,
right?
it's already there. It's not like we're producing it when we touch it. That's funny. It's not like
we actually are.
We are.
Because when you're rubbing up against the plant and it's getting on you, it is releasing in a way on you. Ooh. It's almost like it's fragrance. It's releasing.
Because the way I'm thinking about it is that it's already like the gooiness is already there. We're just
right. But if you also look at the I forgot what they were called, but the things that trichomes, the trichomes that hold it.
Yes.
It's not in a runny form. So like if it was runny, then I would understand. And it's not necessarily sappy where it's like drooping and drips either.
No.
It is a solid thing, and it does not do that unless you touch it. And that's why
it's not going to get on you unless you physically touch the plant. It's not like
it ain't jumping off out.
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's not
So we're not dripping or falling
everywhere.
onto you.
So you have to stimulate it in other ways.
Exactly.
Okay,
And that's where we're getting at.
Listen, we make our correlations with
Education first, guys. Education first.
This is proof how educated we are in these areas. I'm giving you real. So okay, so we got that sensory thing, the plants to be in touch. We got that, gooiness happening. That was her word, not mine. She said gooey. You said gooey. I heard gooey. I was like, all right. So, one of the other things about cannabis is just like this, like it can make things silly and it can be fun, it can be lighthearted, right? And so, what do you think about, can you guys give me any feedback, storied or personal, like how you use cannabis to put fun into, just a intimate or a sexual situation? Were you ever just silly, where you just let it go?
I'm sorry, you're saying how you
just be silly. So, for instance, when I am like chilling or partaking and I'm watching stand-up comedy, right? I will be laughing, and if I'm with my friend, and we'll be chilling and laughing, and we'll get to laughing together. It makes me want to cuddle up a little bit more. It makes me want to laugh and be silly and maybe poke and play. Just be more engaging in a silly manner, whereas it's not always so rubby, touchy, sensuous type of initiation into a romantic or sexual encounter.
Fun initiation.
Best. Yes, that's what I mean. Fun initiation.
They are the best initiations. Where you laugh into the shit.
Yes.
Like that shit, or you laugh during it, like literally, like belly ache, ha. Really? Y'all never did that?
Yes.
No, that shit is amazing.
So I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just me, because people. It's not okay. Because there are moments when you can be just so silly and just free and carefree. That's really when you stop giving a shit about what somebody else is thinking and what's going on. So I think you can use the effect of laughter when you are smoking or consuming cannabis as a way to create that more silly sex. And it kind of goes into like the role play.
Yes.
Because I was about to be like,
role play.
Well, he'll be like, bend over and roll this J,
Hey, there's a challenge for you guys.
So have we taken?
I like that. Yes, I accept. The judge approves.
Yes. But this is where you can try to, cosplay, or you can dress up, and even your lingerie might make you want to do a stripper tease dance. Right. It's when you are, I don't know, it's something a little bit more free when you allow laughter to enter or be a part of your sex life.
Yes.
Yes. What about games? As far as like sensory games, have you ever done anything where you'll do, light, maybe BDSM with some blindfolds and feathers?
I don't think I've ever played games. No, I'm sad to have to admit to that. Oh. I've had great sex though. Never
I got tied to the bed, but I fell asleep.
Damn, sis.
No,
I've never been tied. I'm trying to get tied in my life.
I had that indica.
You had the indica. I think that's how much you had.
This is an example of the wrong one.
Excited too. I was in
Damn.
Nothing was happening. He went to the bathroom, and it was that place.
That was the end.
Like I was like a child. Like you left me unattended. Gone.
Yes, there are some
downfalls. You can't move. Might as well go.
Right. Exactly.
No, I understand. There's nothing else to do with that.
No, there can be some downfalls to.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You can try again. When you had a hybrid.
Yeah.
We gotta get you a good hybrid. All right, so we have some tied up games that we need to play, and some all kinds of things.
No, I was just saying with that we did play a game. It was a card game. Oh, Derek Jackson's card game.
Derek Jackson got a card game?
He got a card game.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's actually not bad. So it's a card game, but it's supposed to be for like a dating card game. So like it's a health icebreaker to spark a conversation between you guys, and also get to know you or know the judgment of how this person thinks, or get a better understanding. So, you know, that's something that we play, because some of the things that they do ask you to do on there are silly, or some of the questions are kind of like out of this world. So it's a good game to play with the group too.
Yes.
Or like, you know, one-on-one.
I played. There's a game called Cuff Cards that I bought before. It's supposed to
Probably
be
the same, very similar,
yeah.
Where there's a lot of them out there like that.
You know, but it can be good because, you know, sometimes you want to have some organic, you know, thought behind it. You know, just ask a random question. You get to kind of feel how people really respond, especially when you catch them off guard. So, you know, be prepared when you play those types of games.
Right.
To
get the,
You might not always
get
like
the
the
answer.
You might not always like the answer you get. But, you know, games are intended to be fun. So, you know, sensory play. What about massages?
Massages are great. Massages are great because majority of people have back pain. So that's really a way to kill two birds with one stone, literally.
Right.
You can get them worked up and worked out.
She's coming up with all kinds of catchphrases. Work up and work out. Exactly.
All in the same motion, you see?
There you go.
Using your infused cannabis balm or oil.
Yes.
And, you know, with the magic hands, you know, the magic hand motion.
Absolutely.
I tell you.
Yes, especially because, you know, when you can get rid of that pain, you know, it can really just
intensify the big O.
Exactly.
When
you are relaxed and, you know, and you titillate the body parts because, again, we're talking about sensory play because we are assuming that you have partaken in some type of cannabinoid where it's either smoked or eaten or, you know, maybe licked on you or something like that. And, you know, these are ways that you can utilize that lowered inhibition and the enhanced physical receptors. So getting a sensual massage that also helps to reduce pain is a great way to participate in that. Now, I know the answer to this question, but I wonder if you've done any additional research since the last time we talked about it. Any thoughts on sloshing?
I've not done any additional research, but it can get really fun, sloshing. So,
what's sloshing again?
When we smash food on each other.
Yeah, it's a sensory, it's a fetish.
So you'll get like cake and like
ice cream, peanut butter, chunky peanut butter,
and chocolate sauce and caramel
and
different
eggs.
stuff.
Do you have sex?
I would love to say. Do you have sex? It's
not during, but you'll like it's
like a foreplay.
Yeah. So you'll put it in certain places.
Wash and then get back.
You want to do it in a place where, you know. And when I meant eggs, they do hard. Like you can do like hard little eggs. You can touch it. Okay. Well, you know.
Only sweet things. Only sweet things.
Like they've done soda. Like they can say the soda.
I don't want soda.
No. You get sticky.
But do you splash and then go wash?
Yes.
Yes.
Splash and wash. You splash and wash it in Sex in the Shower, so it doesn't take that long to like rinse off.
No, right. You don't have to wash off completely. And depending on the mixture, the food types that you use, it's still like kind of like fruit. I know how to eat.
No, just like you don't want to put it inside. You don't want to put it there, sis.
Okay.
Just insert like on the inner thigh.
I was good with this.
Sloshing.
Sloshing.
It's kind of like the baby oil thing, except with food.
Yes. The baby oil thing, you mean like wrestling?
Yeah. Yeah, almost like whatever, or just being
doused.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you remember real sex?
Yes.
Do you remember like where people would sit in food and like baked beans?
No.
You don't remember?
No. I don't know nothing of that's way too left field for me.
Yeah.
That's real left field.
So yeah, Google slosh.
So do you deal with that? in your practice?
Deal with it.
Not deal with it, but do you encounter
Do you come across
people that are interested into that, and do you help them like with that experience to be able to enjoy it, or help another partner do experience it with it for the first time?
Okay, we can take a quick detour, but most people have some type of thing that they're into. Squashing is just a thing,
Right.
So ideally, only people that come to somebody for coaching or help coaching is because they think they need help, and it depends on where that help that they're needing is coming from. Do they feel bad about it and they want to do something to either stop it, or do they feel some shame about it and they want to feel normal, quote unquote normal, and a lot of it is just really figuring out, the back end as to, why is this causing distress for them, and what they want to, what their end goal is. So at the end of the day, the people that actually do this, they have fun. It's fun. It's like, think of the high school food fight, where you're just all out wild and you're just throwing spaghetti and you're just throwing all kinds of shit. And it's like, and all of this is really just meant to be that. Is how can we use cannabis and sex to have fun again?
Right.
Whether it's, laughter or splashing or massage. Massage can be fun. It can be sensual. It can be fun. It feels good. Let's use the advantages that we feel, from the cannabis to enjoy and extend that moment, make it something different, and be together, be intimate, be connected, So that's what I took from, if I'm going to sit and be high, people get high for a reason, otherwise why do it? You do it to elevate, you do it to, get out of here. You do it for whatever your personal reason is, but, you have sex for those same personal reasons. And when they come together, let's figure out the way to make them both just right.
Exactly. That's exactly what.
Sometimes words just don't do it.
That's the sound that it should make. If it's not making that sound, I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
I don't know either. So that's it for me. That's it.
Okay, well, I will chime in with the best terpenes.
Okay.
For sex and time, especially since we're talking about sensory play.
Yeah.
So, terpenes that will help you get more into your body, get more into what it feels like, and less about what it looks like.
Yes.
Or how you're doing it.
Yes.
Is myrcene and linalool. These are going to get you real relaxed into your body. Mm-hmm. So myrcene, a lot of people may be familiar with myrcene because myrcene is found in mangoes. We have heard eat mangoes 30 minutes before you smoke and you'll have a more intense experience. And many have vouched for this to be true. There are some naysayers. Everybody's different physiology really matters. Needless to say, terpenes really play a part in your sexual experience in the degree to which you feel things. And especially for those who are in chronic pain, being able to flip those receptors in the other direction into pleasure instead of pain, really is quite the game changer. It can really quite make all the difference in your experience. So linalool is also found in lavender. So if there's anybody who's looking for non-cannabis ways to incorporate this, you can also use lavender essential oils diluted with your favorite carrot oil. I like to use grapeseed oil. So a lot of people like to use coconut oil. But just using it as a massage oil and getting that into your senses as a way to relax so that you can really.
But it's in the process of how those senses are released, or
So the way terpenes work is the way terpenes work with the body is they have to be inhaled. That's why aromatherapy is so effective. Aromatherapy, your spices, your spice cabinet is full of terpenes. That's why, when you eat certain things, you might find you feel a certain way. That's why you're more prone to eat tacos during the summer. It's the terpenes that are within them that make you feel a certain way. You see what I'm saying? Like the lime, you squeeze lime with your taco, all of that, it dictates a certain feeling. That's why you're using margaritas and pina coladas. It's these notes that associate you with certain things. So when it comes to, especially those who suffer with pain and anxiety, when it comes to really getting out of your head and getting more into your body, immersing and lingering is really great for that. And carryoff is also listed in there because that's anti-inflammation. So if you are dealing with any pain, and anti-inflammation and anti-stress, a lot of these terpenes really, whatever you're dealing with, it'll really, whatever it is, it'll get it.
And it's the same thing with some of the essential oils that you were saying.
Yes, and that's why aromatherapy is effective because it's the inhalation.
Right.
And with so you'll experience less of these effects when you're using them topically and ingestively. It's more in an inhaled smoking form that you would really get most of your effects with these terpenes. It's easier to get these effects with a bong, or they have this new device called a Puffco Peak, which is basically an electric dab rig. You've heard of dabs, like the concentrated form of cannabis?
No.
Well, basically they have, it's like really potent, like it's like basically looks like gel, kind of, but like looks like a wax. So you know the trichome that's on, the sticky stuff that's on, so they basically melt that off and that turns into a wax. And they heat that up, and if you heat it at a certain temperature, you can adjust it for certain terpenes, because different terpenes evaporate at different temperatures. So if you're looking for specific terpenes, you can really fine tune with a bomb. Or
yes. There's that science again.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is why they the real thing, because I'm like, I just smoke it. I don't know.
Not everyone's
nobody understands what you're saying.
So the point is that she does.
Right.
The point is she does. And I'm like, okay.
We'll leave it at that. Email me on that. For those who know. Those who don't know can find out.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. All right. Lisa, did you have anything?
Sensory and cannabis.
Just I feel like no, I don't. I was gonna say something, but I was like, I think I already said that. But I grow with soil, so always getting one with the earth is a really great way to get that sensory, the dirt running through your hands, mixing up the soil, and you're
getting clean after the dirt.
Right, the watering process, the refreshing, the cleaning, you do that, yeah. So doing that for yourself, doing that for your plants, doing it with your plants, it's all gives the feels, yes. And that's why sex and cannabis,
yes,
they're indistinguishable, to be quite frank,
is a thing.
In a lot of ways they are. So I would like to thank you ladies for another great episode of Sex and Cannabis, where we have concluded our 2-part series just on Cumming with cannabis. And like Sita said, we can probably talk about this for hours and hours and hours. But I think we are leading to our last and final episode, guys.
Oh, the last one. It has to end so soon.
I know.
And we coming back with more.
Right, we're leaving with a bang.
And you let us know.
When you're elevating your sexual experience with cannabis by using edibles. That's going to be on our next episode. Yes. You guys can catch me, GrowithLisa, on all platforms, including the website, GrowithLisa.com. That's the 1W, because I am your one and only favorite home grower.
Yes, I am Shani Jones, your resident certified sex coach. You can find me across social media at GrowithLisa, Adda.com. That is the website. Please feel free to like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, and all of those great things. Thank you so much. And Sita.
Yes, I'm Sita. You can find me at Sweets Elevated Eats on Instagram or sita.abdulmalik at gmail.com. The spelling for both of those will be found in the information underneath the videos when you guys watch. So stay tuned.
All right.
See you next